and I'm like a skinny white guy. I just look like an angry, high-pitched voice, like Willem Dafoe looking. How you doing, man? Thanks for hanging out.
You know, I told you in DM, but this is the earliest I've been up in probably a month, which is sad because it's 11 a.m. I should be up way earlier than this, but I've been sleeping like a gremlin, so it's been bad.
Yeah, I definitely can't relate because my wife, like, if I go past like 10, she starts like doing the thing where she like lingers. You know what I'm talking about? Where they linger. And they like creep on you, and they kind of they don't really even say anything, but you just get that. It's like an aura of like, go to fuck.
I gotta go. That's funny. That's cute. That's very cute. I wish my girlfriend was like that, but instead she duos with me, so it makes
she
things
does?
worse. Yeah.
That is catastrophic, to be honest.
Yeah.
So she duos with you. I actually, you know what I think about it? Mary and I, like, we don't play League together at all. She doesn't play. Well, she doesn't play League, to be fair, but like, she doesn't really play that many games with me because she's too competitive.
Oh, so it becomes heated.
Yes, like it's kind of funny because I'm an only child, and that's all I did growing up was play games. So I kind of have like an inclination at this point to be good at them.
Yeah.
It's not even like a flex. It's like, if I wasn't good at them, what the hell's wrong with me, right?
Yeah.
And so she just gets irrationally upset that she just loses every game that we play. And so I'm sitting there and I'm just thinking to myself, you know, babe, I'm not really judging you, but she's judging herself.
I think, you know, it's funny you say that. It's funny you say that because I want to say, and obviously with you, proof is in the pudding, right? You're really good at games. But I feel like a lot of people gravitate towards the idea of being good at video games. You know what I mean? Obviously, some people gravitate to it more, but I feel like, I guess, especially like in League of Legends, right? I feel like ranked, how high you're ranked, how well you play, all that stuff is a defining factor in why a lot of people even play League to begin with these days, right?
Yes. So, go ahead.
No. So it's just interesting you say that because like this is kind of a funny story, but the other day we were doing a tiny little thing for my girlfriend Reb, and my brother is one of those people who, like, he thinks he's good at games, but he's not necessarily great at games. And then he was like, yeah, I'll beat anyone here in Smash Bros. But it just so happened that my friend James was there, and he's like a top 8 Smash Bros player. And he 3-stocked my brother, and it was just, it felt nice. It felt nice to see the competitive spirit die, because I remember as a youngin', since I'm not an only child, I was the youngest, and I would always get bullied in games, so it was nice.
So did it humble him though?
It humbled him a bit, yeah. To get 3-stocked, I think, humbles anybody, you know?
Yeah.
It feels bad in the old heart.
Yeah, especially if you think you're the hotness, right? And then some guy just comes in and smurfs on you, and like one thing about you in particular is that you obviously, as a content creator, you aren't somebody that necessarily markets yourself as like the best player. And I've had content creators on before in the past. I've had Ross on before. And I've had people like that. But one of the things that I wanted to bring you on here for actually was because I appreciate, I don't know if you know my backstory that far, but basically when I started out, I made it a thing that I wasn't going to make any YouTube content until I was Diamond. Okay. The first video I made, you can look this up for League. One of the first videos that I put out for edited content was a video called 10 Tips to Diamond. And basically what I did, and I know that I have a tier list video of yours overlaid in the background right now, but one of the videos I did is like kind of what you wound up doing now. And I think you know where I'm going to go with this, where you script out content. You write some jokes. I know that you're writing jokes. I know, unless you're just a mean unless you're mean at improv, right? You're writing out the jokes, you're making good edited content, and then you post it on YouTube. I personally wanted to invite you to do this because I wanted to talk to you about League, obviously, streaming, obviously, YouTube. But like the big thing that's always impressed me is that you're still doing that type of content. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Like the scripted, like jokey kind, like that kind of content. Yeah. It's so interesting that you bring that up because I was just talking to Nicky Boy, who's one of my friends, and he does scripted content, and he's like one of like the newer generation of League content creators. I would say that even though I've been around for a while, I'm kind of on the newer end too, because if you go like way back with like Bricky and Matt and like I guess Skye Williams and all of them, they were like the first wave, right? I would say I was probably like in the second wave. But I noticed like as things go on with League of Legends, and there's a lot of things I guess attribute this to, but as time passes with League of Legends, I feel like there's less and less and less of it. You know, there's less scripted content, there's less meme content, and I feel maybe it could be like, you know, confirmation bias. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong places, but I feel like the more the years go on, the more the fan base starts becoming innately just about ranked and like LCS and all that
Is
stuff.
That how you feel?
That's how I feel. Yeah.
Huh. I don't know if I agree with you.
Oh, what did you say?
I said I don't know if I agree.
So you think that there is more? I feel like the creative content. I feel like the creative content in League of Legends, it's not, because no matter what, all content is creative. There's no way to take that away from anyone, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like, and so one of the reasons why, right? One of the reasons I think so is like, you look at the biggest League of Legends content creators, and there's a reason why they're the biggest. It's like when you look at the YouTube algorithm, when you look at like the machine that is YouTube, where you just need to consistently be releasing a lot of things all the time because the algorithm favors that kind of stuff. The people who end up succeeding or beating out at the top are the people who can upload daily. And the people who can upload daily are normally streamers, because they're the ones who have like a bunch of editors with them, and then they can do this thing where they appease the YouTube algorithm, and then out of nowhere there's 57 Tyler 1 highlight clip channels, and all of them pull 200,000. You know what I mean? They all pull 200,000 views on Tyler 1's Urgot game where he went 17-2, and then all of that content, I won't say it necessarily drowns out the more edited stuff, but there is so much of it that even newer creators, I feel like, gravitate towards being that, instead of looking at like Magikarp Use Fly and going, I want to do actual champion spotlight. You know what I mean?
So I see what you're saying. So basically you're saying that the content meta doesn't necessarily favor your style of content, or the content like Ross. Well, I guess Ross isn't really editing. He's editing, but like he's not. I don't want to sound like I'm shitting on Ross, because I'm not. I love Ross, but he's not. He has to come up with an idea, but the execution of the idea isn't some, like you were saying, like he doesn't write it out. Yeah. Right? Like he's not scripting out a bunch of jokes. I know what you're trying to say, and I get it. It's kind of funny that you brought up Skye Williams, because before I had you on today, I was like, are you going to flame Skye Williams? Not you, me. Like, I was talking to myself. I was like, are you going to flame Skye Williams today? I feel like I want to, because I hated that guy. Like when he was popping off back in the day, I was like, I just don't like this guy. You ever just get a bad feeling about somebody?
Okay, can I say one very quick thing? Can I say one Okay, back when before I even had a YouTube channel, I don't know if you know this, but I used to do video stuff for random teams. So I did stuff for SK Gaming, I did stuff for Team Liquid and a couple of other teams, but those are the ones that I worked with consistently. Yeah. And I remember back then I was like a super duper League of Legends fanboy, like Magikarp Use Fly, again, Skye Williams, Darkmane, all of them. It's cool because Magikarp Use Fly, now he's one of my close friends. Same thing with Nithin, Darkmane, they're all really cool. But Skye Williams, he was huge back then. And I remember just being like such a huge fan of him. And then I went to an anime convention in Northern California called Fanime.
Okay.
And I shit you not, this is my first ever real life impression of Skye Williams, okay? Me and my friends are walking through a hotel lobby to get to our hotel. We're just walking. And then Skye Williams, very drunkenly in this hotel lobby, he's like sitting on a chair, turns around and looks my friend in the eyes, who he's never met before. They'd never seen each other in person or talked online or anything. He looks my friend in the eyes and he goes, what? What? Do you want to fight? Just super drunkenly. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm just not going to deal with that. And we just kept walking. And I think that's my only Skye Williams impression in real life, except for, I think 3 days after that at the same convention, we were talking, I think Night Blue got some weird thing happened with Night Blue. And then, we were talking about it at a Taco Bell, and Skye Williams just happened to be there, and he was like, oh, can I put in my 2 cents? And he was really nice there, but I just remember that first impression. I was like, wow, what a booming character that is.
Oh, he was booming, all right. He was doing some bizarre things, but I mean, initially, I don't want to just bash on him too much, because like he's already dealing with whatever he's got to be dealing with now, and social media. The last thing he needs is, piled on. But I personally, I thought initially his content was okay. It was a little, I don't know, cliche, but like he was writing jokes, he was scripting it out, and he was doing his thing. And that is something that I agree. It's definitely, it was kind of a breath of fresh air when I looked at your content, and I was like, oh, he's still doing this. That's cool, because it's like a lot of that's kind of fallen to the wayside. And to your point about people like Tyler One or just content creators, I mean, I'll be the first to admit, like, I have a formula and I use it, and I'm sure you could probably figure out what that formula is. It's not too hard. Could you take a guess?
Is it, hold on, are you uploading daily?
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
Every day, 2 channels. Yep.
2 channels. Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus. How do you, man, management, I feel, is so much, because obviously you have to work with a lot of editors, right? I feel like management is like almost harder than content half the time,
Yeah,
like
no, I agree.
Everything like an oiled machine, like telling editors exactly when you need it by, dealing with like the stuff that pops up, like sometimes their computers die or something comes up, and then what do you do if you don't have a video for Tuesday? I think my editors have it pretty good though, because they don't have to script as much. Do you write all your own stuff? Now this might be too deep into the weeds, but you do. I write, all the written stuff is all me. Yeah.
Have you ever thought, I was thinking about you this morning, I know it sounds kind of shady, but bear with me.
Okay.
Have you ever thought about paying somebody to write videos?
It's interesting because I've very recently, all right, to not be too long-winded, I very recently have been wondering, like, maybe the 2-channel thing is worth it. Because though I love just like the stream highlight stuff, and oftentimes the stream highlight stuff does do well on my channel and stuff, but it's like, though I like that, I feel like using my main channel primarily for written stuff would be a lot easier on my back, and a lot better just to like cut the bull, like for sponsors and stuff. If a sponsor comes to your channel and they're like, wow, this guy consistently pulls 200, 300, 400,000 views, and sponsors care more about, like it's easier to price out sponsors if all of your videos do well versus like, this one's 400,000, this one's 10,000, this one's 300,000, this one's 15,000. On top of that, I recently heard, and all of this stuff, you like just know that it's kind of hearsay. None of this is confirmed because nobody really knows the YouTube algorithm. They change it up like every day, etc., etc. But I heard that if you keep your big videos on one channel, then YouTube will do a better job of pushing your videos out, because it knows that your videos have a tendency to succeed. So if my big channel, for example, was only Can We Talk About This, which is my bread and butter, right? Like my biggest show ever. Then even if I didn't upload for 2 weeks, 2 weeks later when I do Can We Talk About This, Riven or Silas, it would pop off specifically because YouTube is like, this person is not uploading a lot. they uploaded another video that tends to go well. Let's push it out because that is how we can make money off this channel as well. But then when you start,
this is good. Okay.
Yeah. And then when you start, like in my case, for example, right? Like when I have the written stuff and the not written stuff, when you start to muddy the waters, then it does this thing where it's like, okay, well, some of the videos did good and then some of them didn't do good. So he released a video. How do we know if this one's going to do good? We can't really tell, but his last 3 videos didn't do good. So though this video should do good, we're not going to push it that hard because we don't know if it's going to do good. Does that make sense?
No, it does.
Long-winded. Yeah. Okay. But
no, what you're saying is straight.
Yeah. So what I realized is like maybe it would be a better idea to try to do like a stream highlight channel on the side with like daily content, you know, like stream every day, meme, do whatever the heck there. And then on the main channel, just do like the written stuff. And if I were to diverge and do that, then I personally think that it would be a good idea to get a writer. But then getting writers, I think the only reason I would ever want a writer is because like when you do jokes, and you do them, like I have like 80 episodes plus of Can We Talk About This? You start getting to a point where it's like, this joke sounds a little familiar. Maybe I've written a joke similar to this in 80 freaking episodes. You know what I mean? So getting extra eyes, maybe getting like a writer or something would probably be a good idea. And it could also, you know, pick up some of the load, if that makes sense.
No, that's really good. There's like, I have definitely thought about like scripted content. Like my editors right now, they're just cranking coaching content at the moment because for me, I mean, coaching has just been such a phenomenal success, and it's definitely been kind of like the voice that I found, right? It's like content creators, you basically have to get to a point where you look yourself in the mirror and you'd be like, this is what my fans want, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is what they want. Because when I started, I wasn't too sure what my fans wanted. So I jumped around a lot. And initially it was, well, we're going to climb as high as we can climb, right? And we're going to do this. And like, I come to find out that, you know, to use Tyler 1 as an example. Great example, Scooch. Because Tyler 1 is brilliant when he's feeding. He's entertaining. He's a big, lumpy, goofy looking guy who's muscular, right? And he just, if he's feeding and failing, his viewers are just kind of like, that's what I'd expect that guy to do, right? If he's angry and raging, they'd be like, I could expect that guy to rage. If he's winning, is a big muscular guy celebrating. That's great. You know, that's great entertainment. Yeah. If I'm feeding and failing, and I've talked about this with other episodes before, and by the way, I don't want this to come off like I'm jealous or anything like that. I think there's many times where like I watch Tyler 1's streams and I read his chat and I was like, I would go insane. Like I would literally like lose my mind if I was just getting like clowned on all the time at every street. Like I'm not the person for it. But like if I was feeding and failing, I just look like an angry, like my voice isn't that great. So, and I'm like a skinny white guy. I just look like an angry, high-pitched voice, like Willem Dafoe looking ass dude, right? So I'm not the guy, like I'm not the guy that gets away with that, right? Like I just don't have the demeanor. I always use the example of like Expetu or even like I Keep It Taco. These guys, like even if they were flaming, like I'd listen to those guys flame all day. Do you know what I'm saying? Like just voice alone.
Because their voices?
Yeah. Have you heard Expetu?
Yeah. Expetu? No, I have not heard Expetu. But I do watch Taco sometimes.
All right. I'm literally going to leave this in Discord right now. That's how you spell his name. Yeah. Taco's another one. He's got a good voice too. But Expetu, you listen to that guy talk for 5 minutes. You'd be like, yeah, if that guy was calling his team like shithead monkey inbreds or whatever, you'd be like, I want to hear him say that because just his voice alone is going to carry the content. Right?
Nice. Dude, I need to check that out. That sounds great.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like we have to find our voice. And for me, it's always been just kind of one of those things where the coaching content took off and then it's been nonstop. So if you had a second channel, right, what would you be thinking about doing for a second channel that if it isn't going to be like scripted out, or is it all going to be just scripted out?
I don't think I have the bandwidth to do like if I were to do a second channel, the scripted stuff would stay on the main, and then the second channel would be all right. this sounds bad, and I don't mean for it to sound bad, but like in the lightest way, like the second channel would be like the algorithm appeasing channel, you know, like the second channel would be like, I will upload daily. I would like clickbait, you know, like I would do things that I think would be good at the time. You know, I would do stuff like that on the second channel just to see how, well I could pull it off. Does that make sense? Because again, YouTube is just like a puzzle, right? And it's like a puzzle that some people figure out fast, and it's a puzzle that some people don't figure out. You know, say whatever you want about Dream, but Dream is this kid who came out of nowhere as a nobody and is now like the biggest or one of the biggest names on YouTube. And it's just like that kind of stuff. It obviously comes from a lot of things, but it's like that kid, no matter what you say, is a genius for getting to where he is so abruptly. It was almost like overnight success with that kid, you know? Doesn't show his face. His thumbnails are overly simplistic, but he has something. I think if I could liken what I would want my channel to either turn into or my second channel to be, it would probably be like Moist Critical. I love him so much. Because Moist Critical, he can see a child trip on his way to the grocery store, make a title about like the most devastating thing I've ever seen. The thumbnail would just be a picture of him looking at the camera sad, and it would get 2 million views. You know, and it's just like, it's because that guy as a person is so like funny, and he's so like outlandish in the way that he speaks, that like I myself, like I will watch that man do anything. He starts a cooking channel. Yep. All right. I guess we're watching him cook now, you know? And it's just, that is the person, like I use Moist Critical as an example because like, I feel like he did everything so well that he can get away with like, you've seen his content before, right?
Of course.
Like a video
or
two?
Of course.
Okay. Cool. So it's like he can get away with like almost 0 edits. There has literally been videos on his channel that I've watched where you see him turn off the camera. You know what I mean? Like you see him like look towards his computer and click stop recording. And that's how he starts and edits, you know, like he doesn't do anything. And it's just so cool because it's like to be a content creator that is so magnetizing that you don't like, and I say this in the nicest way I can, because if you've seen my content, like 90% of it is ridiculously edited. It's like super over edited stuff.
Yeah.
But though I love editing, right, as because I've done it forever, I feel like I wish I was good enough to not have to hide behind swish transitions and crazy text flying everywhere.
I don't think it's hiding behind though.
Okay.
I don't think it is. I'll tell you why.
All right,
this is actually a really good discussion, by the way. I like this. So I believe that, well, I don't know if I would use the term believe because it sounds like I'm being all religious over here. There's a truth to what you're saying. Like like Charlie's great. Like he's very entertaining. He's got good content. He knows where to bring his takes to. But at the end of the day, I think he's one of those people. I don't know if he would necessarily be where he is today if he wasn't a first to market guy. Before I get destroyed by like comments or anything with what I'm saying, can I just say that he is like an OG? Like he was a good content creator from the Stone Age. Like he got the BC update on YouTube. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he's been around forever.
He's been around for because
I was in high school watching him, dude. Yeah, the Quap video.
Yeah. I remember when it came out, and I remember watching it when it came out because people were talking about it and just laughing the entire time.
Yeah.
And then obviously, like he did a bunch of other random games, and then out of nowhere, he's one of the biggest creators ever.
But I don't necessarily know if he would be where. I guess what I'm trying to say is first to market's a real thing. I don't want people to come at me and just be like, oh, he's shitting on this guy. Like, no, I think he's amazing. He's obviously a brilliant content creator. He's obviously a great businessman. But I think a lot of this space and a lot of the YouTube and Twitch and everything space comes with first to market. I can give you an example. I'm living in a great first to market space right now. For me, because my coaching, coaching has been, phenomenal. I've started doing the live coaching. Money's great. I have no shortage of content options. Got my site. I've got things like the boot camp that I'm working on. I mean, I've got no shortage of cash flow right now. And to me, a big reason for that is because I just found like a space. I feel like it's like when you go on the bus and you just can't find a place to sit where there's like people not up your ass.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel with the coaching right now. And I feel like someone like Critical had a pretty good position when he started posting content initially. He was just one of the first guys to have that magic touch at that time when there wasn't a lot of people on the bus with him. That's all I'm trying to say. I think he has it.
That makes
obviously.
sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think
it's so hard to do that.
Yeah, but you're saying like, oh, like I'm hiding behind editing. No, I think that's just the barrier to entry now. I don't think you get to get away with YouTube. I guess the only spaces where you would be allowed to get away with stuff like nuances like that, where you're just like a new face, is like I see TikTok. I have a TikTok now. Follow my TikTok, guys. And you have TikTok, don't you? Yeah,
but I don't use it as much as I should.
Well, the reason I bring it up is because you've seen some of the TikTok content. There's stuff on there that it's just like, dude, what is going on? Like, this is garbage, right? And this guy's got millions of views.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like that's another example of kind of like where, you know, YouTube was all those years ago, where it's like there's just going to be a bunch of stuff that is going to get outgrown so fast.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Can we talk about TikTok real quick? This is such a hot take, and I know it's the hottest take ever. But I love TikTok, okay? Don't think I'm not going to say, oh, TikTok bad. You know, like I love it. I love the platform. It is fantastic. Sometimes me and my girlfriend get wine drunk in the bath and just watch TikToks together, you know? But I will say that as far as platforms go, TikTok is the one that scares me the most.
Okay.
And it is specifically because how TikTok is made front to back as a user is to feed you algorithm and nothing else. So even if you follow creators, like most people don't just use their feed. They go to like just the random videos or whatever, and they just scroll through the random videos, and then they find new creators. And that's why it's like on TikTok, there are literally people who get 100,000 in their first week, like 100,000 followers in their first week. Does that mean anything? No, because on TikTok, subscribers mean almost less than like YouTube, right? Because people are just going to be scrolling the people that they chose to follow for a little bit, and then they're going to go back to looking for new people to follow. They're going to go back to looking for new creators. And the reason why I say it scares me is because, like, think about it, and this is all right. Look, all right, I know this is going to sound a little wonky, and you know, maybe I need to word it better, but think about how terrifying it is that the biggest app right now basically tells you, hey, you're watching this. And that's all it is. Like, it can very quickly, and I'm not saying this is what's happening, but it could very quickly, oh, you watched one, for example, I was watching TikToks with my girlfriend yesterday, right? Okay. She got 4 or 5 she watches comedy on there and makeup, okay? She watches comedy and makeup. Those are the two things that she enjoys watching. She got 4 or 5 videos in a row about proposing. And it's like, and I'm not saying that is like a thing, but you know, it sounds weird, I know, but it's like, I have friends who like, they're scrolling through TikTok and they're like, yeah, every single TikTok I've gotten today was about breaking up. Every single TikTok I got today was about buying a sundress, the sundress challenge. Have you heard of the sundress challenge?
Oh my God.
And it's just like, it's scary to me. And I love it. Again, I love TikTok, but it's so scary that at any given moment, it could be like, hey, you know what? Like, here's a big meme that's going on TikTok right now. Hey, we hate Leos. Leos are the worst thing on earth. I don't even care about astrology. I'm a Leo. I don't care about any of it. But out of nowhere, there's like this meme going on where it's like, yeah, if it's a Leo, they're just a piece of garbage person. And now everyone hates Leos on earth because TikTok told them to.
Yeah,
it's just weird, you know? It's like the algorithm is just like, It's controlling the youth.
Yeah.
I sound like an old man just shaking my
No, this
fist
is great.
on
I like this. So I'm gonna log on TikTok and it's gonna be like, redheads are bad. Redheads should jump in front of a bus, and you're just like,
maybe,
maybe TikTok is onto something. And then they they all get together. They make a Facebook page, and now they all hate redheads. And yeah, they didn't even.
Yeah, there it goes. Yeah.
No, I've never actually heard this take, but it's an interesting one. Do you have any other conspiracy theories that you'd like to share today on the podcast, or no?
It's not necessarily like, because yeah, you know what? It turns out the government, all iguanas, okay? They're all lizard people. Be careful. No, but it's like, it's interesting because it's like you can see like UI, right? Like the UI of YouTube. It's like, obviously you get stuff recommended. But very quickly you can click on, oh, here's a Super Mario speedrunning video. You click on that and it's like, hey, if you like Super Mario speedrunning, maybe here's a Sonic the Hedgehog speedrunning. And then you click on that and then it just boils into like, yeah, there's more options that are kind of like this. Do you want to check this out? Do you want to check that out? Right. And then like Twitter, it's like you follow people and it's like you see what they like and then you see what they retweet. Instagram, you follow people and it's like you see their images. But then TikTok, you follow people, but it still prioritizes like, yeah, you followed Billy, Joe, and Sarah. Anyways, here is creator Teriyaki Poppy making a meme about smoking too much marijuana and turning into stone. You know, it's like the UI on TikTok isn't made for you to actively seek out content. It is made for you to kind of tell it, maybe this good, and then they go, okay, maybe. Anyways, hear this. And that's why TikTok itself is kind of like an interesting one to me. You know, I love it though. I love it. I think TikTok, I think it scares me how funny kids are today. I feel old because everyone is so damn funny. You know, like kids are so quick-witted, and I think obviously it comes from like this entire generation is born with the best of it. You know, when you were in high school, I don't know how old you are. How old are you?
32.
Okay, yeah, perfect. You know, so when you were in high school, it's like there wasn't, you know, people aren't on twitch.tv watching offline TV do Ninja Warrior, right? Like, no, back then it's like there was MySpace and then a small migration to Facebook. But now it's like there's this whole consolidation of everyone. Like everyone has a Twitter, everyone has an Instagram, everyone has a Facebook, everyone has a TikTok, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like that, though it sounds like it's a bad thing, it just kind of advanced everyone, you know? Sure, it can create echo chambers and all that stuff, but I feel like kids growing up with the ability to understand what comedy is at such a young age is just making so many talented people. Does that make sense?
No, it does. No, that's brilliant. I didn't expect you to go this deep. I mean, it's. I'm
sorry.
it's 3 p.m. over here on the East Coast, so you're getting real deep with it. But I like these takes. These are these are good though. No, these are good because no. I'm serious. I'm serious. I enjoy it because I never really viewed it that way though. I never really viewed it as like. I guess a good comparison would be like in high school. My school was like a Class C school. Right. And basketball, track, soccer, all that. Right. Well, when you go to face a Class A school, you just kind of get dunked on because they just got a bigger pool to basically grab from for talent, for players. And it kind of seems like that's what you're referring to in terms of like social media and kids just being able to kind of absorb it already is that they grow up with it and they see, like you said, the funniest things already. So kids now, they're conditioned. And also, I think social media, I mean, say what you want about politics, about Trump or whatever, feel good or bad about him. But the guy, like, I think that kind of proves, and just the times that we live in is like social media has a value. And we don't know necessarily how to convert that to dollars. But like, it's going to be like one of the most valuable things going forward from here on out. How many followers you have, how many people like you, and not just your high school. Because now it doesn't matter. Like you could be the lamest motherfucker in high school. You could have 1 million followers on TikTok and you could be killing it.
Yeah.
Because like, it's not, you know, that's just a bigger pool now. And there's just more people to kind of aim at. And I just think the whole discussion is actually quite fascinating because, like you said, when I was growing up, this is now I'm going to sound like real old, but like when I was growing up, the internet was just starting. Like it was just AOL was a thing, and like
I remember that.
Yeah, AOL was a thing. Like I had to like call somebody up on the phone to get internet. You know, you have to dial up, and then it was like laggy and like. There was just nothing there. And so to see that transition, then it's like, then you get a cell phone, then you get like, you know, text, and then it turned into pictures. And now it's like videos, and they're, you know, everybody's got it now. And it's like, I've kind of seen that progression. And so now I'm sitting here thinking like young kids get this, but they are just thrust into it.
Yeah.
Like be funny or you suck. Be popular or you suck, right? Like I didn't really have to deal with that. I don't think anybody really knows what that's like. So like sometimes I make fun of like I always call them Timmies in my solo queue games. It's like some 12-year-old playing a collie just going on full tilt and typing stuff like their Twitch chat or something. Yeah. But like I do wonder sometimes like how I would have fared. Right?
In how you would fare now, you mean? Right?
Yeah, like if I had to go back in time, like Men in Black mind wipe. Okay, you know, grow up and you have no following. Right? You have no concept of anything other than apps are like what kids do. Like this is what the world does. Like they go on TikTok, they go on Twitter, they go on YouTube, Facebook, whatever, and they acquire followings and they have to be funny to the internet. Yeah. Like, I didn't even really know that I was going to be doing this when I was growing up. It wasn't even really, do you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like something that I was aiming at when I was like 14 necessarily.
It just ended up happening. Yeah. I mean, I think no matter what, when it comes to like content in general, going back to like the whole idea of like, kids can see it and kids can do it. And like, here's a random thing. Cause you know, I'm in my late 20s, you know? So it's like, here's a big thing. I remember me growing up, it's like to learn editing, cause I would have to learn on the internet. Like there were no tutorials for anything. There was nothing. If you wanted to do a very specific thing in After Effects, you would always end up either having to like dig really deep and kind of piece together two separate concepts from two different tutorials, or you would just have to like figure it out yourself because there wasn't so many people doing it. But right now, like I shit you not, because I also like to like dabble in music and stuff. A random compressor, you find a random compressor plugin on the internet, you could look up a tutorial for this one specific compressor out of the hundreds of thousands that exist, and there would be a front to back, well-made tutorial about that one compressor you looked up. It's like we are in the information age, and it's cool because it's so much more readily available for content creators to become content creators. I always tell this story, but when I first got my first job ever, right, I had to make a green screen because I needed to use a set with a green screen, right? I went to Home Depot. I bought PVC pipes, right? And then I sawed the PVC pipes to make a green screen stand. And then I had to use clamps to stretch out the green screen, and Home Depot lights. I had to use Home Depot, like the big blasty lights that you use for like garage when you're in your garage when you're doing like projects and stuff. I had to use those bad boys and set them up to have an evenly lit green screen. Right now, at this second, if you were bored, NEACE, you can go on Amazon and buy everything I just named for like $260 from Elgato.
Yeah, so I actually have that stuff. I know this sounds like we're in an Elgato ad, but we're not.
No, we're not, definitely.
PayPal me after. No, I got a green screen from Elgato. I've got 3 Elgato lights, and this isn't an ad because these lights fucking suck. They're good.
Oh, they blow sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell is wrong with them. Like, someone farts at my house, and then like 2 of the lights don't turn on before streams. Like, I don't understand.
Oh, they blow, dude. Elgato screws me over sometimes.
These lights, these are amazing lights, but they decided to rig them up in a way to where they have, they're just Wi-Fi. And so like I come into my office and it's like one light works and 2 don't. So go stream. And it's like, well, can I restart my router and maybe it works? It's like 30% of the time.
Yeah, dude, Elgato. Oh, I use their capture card stuff, and it just like, this is the worst thing. I could be streaming, and I could be like, this is gonna be such a good video. This is gonna be such good content, and then my webcam just stops working. And then nothing I do. Literally, I can do nothing, and then it'll start working or stop working again. I can just sit there with my stream on, and now I know where it just turns back on.
Nice.
It's like begging to God sometimes. I feel like Elgato, you need to make a blood sacrifice for things to go smoothly.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, though, and I also dealt with something similar when I was starting off, because I did a green screen, which is one of my greatest regrets in content, by the way. Not green screen, but just putting my fucking face on everything was...
Oh, you hate it?
No, I mean, now it's me. Now it's my content, but like,
yeah,
I am so jealous now that because when I started out, I was like, well, you have to be... I mean, there's people like Dr. Disrespect who go just like above and beyond with like, you know, production and quality or whatever. Yeah. But you don't really need it at all. You just need to be talkative, right? Which I am plenty, right? So you just need to be talkative. You probably need to be good and or funny, and it would have been fine. But instead, I wanted to put my face on every single thing, and then I kind of got committed to it, right? To where the point is now I have to do it. But like, I wish I didn't, but I had to do the same thing you did. I got some green sheet and some big old nipple clamp clip things that you gotta stick against the walls, and the green screen was never perfect looking. You can go back and look through my old videos, guys, to verify this. It's like the green screen was like never perfect. Like there was always a day where it was like, you know, oh, the light seeped in, and then you have to cover the light, and the wind blew, or you bumped it with your knee and that broke it. You know, chroma was off, all this stuff, right? And then you're just kind of like, I suck at this job. Well, hey, I really appreciate you coming on today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You know, I was gonna end this podcast after you said all that. I was gonna say something like, "Shut up, noob," and then I was just gonna shut you off. But
classic.
So you feel that there should be more casual modes? All right, bye, noob. Click, and then I just that was Scooch. All right, go watch his fucking channel, fucking noob. All right, see you later. No, this is good. No, I really truly enjoyed this, and I really appreciate you taking the time. Obviously, same. I obviously wouldn't have reached out to you if I didn't personally enjoy your content. This is, after all, I am not owned by Riot, so I don't. I just take what I want here, and I personally enjoy your stuff, and I know. Thanks, brother. Like I said, I did this type of content. I'm not going to be like that guy, like, if anybody could do it, I could do it. But I know what you're doing. I know the amount of effort that goes into it. I know the amount of writing that you're putting into it. And I know the amount of soul that you put into it. And I really appreciate it. And I think you presented yourself very well here. And I think you'll get a lot of new fans. So thank you so much.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, brother. It was really fun. I was nervous, I'll be honest. But thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it again sometime. A few months.
Cool. I'm down.
All right. Peace. Awesome. Have a good one, buddy.
Have a good one later, bro.